All right. All right. What up, everybody? What up, y'all? Welcome to another podcast session here on our channel. I've been enjoying the crap out of these. I've been fortunate to sit down with some cool ass people. And we're going to keep these this Who Is series going. I got a couple more left before we jump off this series, but it's been awesome. This is our fifth installment of the podcast series, and we've had to sit down with some Facebook content creators, but today we get a Twitch guy, and let me gas up my homie real quick. Mr. Orwiggle is a streamer on Twitch. He's got over 3K followers. He's got a great community over there. It's a lot of banter, a lot of BSing, and it's fun. And every time I'm in there, I have a couple chuckles. And I asked him about a week ago to come on here, so he obliged, and I appreciate it because usually he's on around this time. So you won't see him on Facebook. He'll post some stuff here on Facebook once in a while, but his main platform is Twitch. And without further ado, gonna introduce and bring in my homie, Mr. Orwiggle. If I could unmute his ass. What's up, man?
I was the one that was on. I was the one muted, so that's my apologies on that.
What's up, man?
What's up, homie?
How you doing, brother? I mean, I appreciate you coming on here. A lot of people probably won't recognize your name or your face over here on the Facebook side, but on the Twitch side, you've been tearing it up for quite some time, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to sit down with you because I like to pick your brain and get to know you a little bit more than I already know you. And give the opportunity for a lot of people that don't know you to get to know you and maybe go check you out sometime and see what you got going on your channel, man. So thanks for coming on.
No, again, I appreciate it. Yeah, as you and I always talk about, it's always a great experience and or a badass thing for me when Jimmy always shouts me out and says that I got him into streaming. To hear that, to know that I've had a somewhat of a I have a positive outlook on things, and for Jimmy to say something like that, that was really awesome of him, because he could have just been like, oh, this is my idea, but he gave me the shout out from the get-go, like, hey, this guy did something that I was interested in doing. And I remember back in the day, Jimmy and I had the conversation of the basics, where do I go? How does this work? What do you do? And I kind of just told him how Twitch worked. I knew he was leaning towards Facebook, and I told him, that's something you'll have to actually look up on and get more details with, but it's pretty much the same thing. And so I am very blessed to hear people say, you're not the only one that I encourage someone to try this out. And so I think that's badass.
Yeah, and I say it every time we've co-streamed. I'm sure all my community is fucking tired of hearing, but you were the reason I even switched away from console also. And yeah, man, when you were doing it, when you were on Twitch, I was kind of messing with Mixer at the time, and I was just blown away and baffled of how many people would show up to watch you fucking play a game. And I've been playing video games pretty much all my life, so for me at the time, and this was about 2 years ago, the concept of me like trying to understand that this guy I know is doing something that I never thought of, and it's even a possibility to even make some income and actually have fun doing it as well. And I think you've done a pretty good job of just me that I've seen you the past 2 years, just from you doing little to more, to being more to just doing more and branching out and growing ever so more on the platform. So it's awesome to see that, because as many people know or don't know, it's tough over there on Twitch sometimes. We're anywhere, so
yeah, I think you hit it right in the head. Everyone's trying to do this right now, and it's a huge market. It really is, right? There's millions of people in the world and thousands of people that stream. So it's just interesting to see what the world has come to. I mean, it's 2022, and I was the same boat, man, when I first started this. I've been watching Twitch since about 2014. So I thought about the same thing. You hit it right in the head. Like, man, these people are playing and people are like
It's
watching.
stripped out.
That's weird. It really is. But you come to realize that it's more than just the gaming aspect. It's community, who you meet, who you branch out, to, and that's the biggest thing. It's not just this guy's playing video games, but
Yep.
it's like, I've heard some people tell me that they're here to just cry and laughter, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm able to do that. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's one of the things too, because I mean, I was doing it at first for fun because I saw you were doing it. So as I started getting more into it, you've known me for quite a while. So for people who don't know, I've actually known Brian for 12 plus 13 years. And, when I do something, I don't half-ass. I kind of get into shit, and that's just my nature. So when I was watching Brian do it, I was asking how he was doing everything, and it was just blowing my mind how much money that goes into doing all this. A lot of people don't understand. They just think that, oh, you just turn on your Xbox or your PlayStation and turn on a camera. I mean,
Yeah.
we're using $300 microphones, $200 monitors, computers, thousands of dollars. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it other than just, playing video games. And I think that's perfect that you mentioned that.
And some of my followers that have my Snapchat, they actually get a first look at all of my equipment that I use. And I had a close buddy, my buddy Chris. He was one that was like blown away. He's like, you pretty much have a whole production set up. And I said, yeah, behind the scenes, it's a lot more intriguing than it looks. And, there's errors. There's, you try to make it as perfect as you can, but you're one person. So to have such a good quality of a stream is something that people look for. And surprisingly, that's something that I didn't know. I used to just play on my McDonald's microphone. And I was like, when I got tired of people saying, hey, yeah, I'll take a number 2, hold the mail. And I'm like, okay, I need a new mic, things like that, So people do come in just more of the content. They actually like the production value of things. So that's something that's intriguing to me too.
I know, that's cool. So I want to get into some questions, and let everybody a little bit of chance to get to know you more than I do. But first of all, what I like to ask people when they come on here is like how did you come up with your name, like Orwiggle? Like, how did that come about? How did that lead to? Is that a nickname you got, or you picked it, or how did you come around that?
So it's it's pretty funny. So at the time I was active duty military, and the Jason Derulo song where it said "Wiggle Wiggle" was out.
Oh my God, really?
With my last name being incorporated in there, my last name being Orwig, I had a buddy that was calling me one day. He was like, yo, Orwiggle. And it literally just stuck since then.
Nice.
I mean, it's on all of my plaques. And when I got in the military, I mean, that's just who I was known for. So it was a unique name, right? Like I knew nobody would ever have that. So I rolled with it, man. I rolled with it. And then, it's pretty much trademarked now.
I know, that's cool. That's the best. I honestly think that when you're given a nickname out of just something and it just sticks, it's great. Because I always kind of laugh at people when they give themselves their own nicknames or like, and I've said it all the time. And you mentioned something I tell people because, just like you, people approach me like, hey, I want to stream. I want to do this. I mentor some people. And one of the biggest things I tell them is like, think of a unique name that's not out there, because how many sniper 1-2-3s, Snow Bunny this, sexy that, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you look up Orwiggle on Google, more than likely it's going to be your Twitch, your Instagram, whatever platforms, So that's cool that it's such a unique name.
And just to throw this out here, there will be an OnlyFans link. One of my dumbass community members put that on there. Not me. Full disclosure. Do not pay no money to that. So just throwing that out there. That was not me. Just feet pics. That's not me.
With corns on your toes and shit.
Yeah, there you go. Little crooked toes and shit.
What's it called? So we talk about gaming a little bit, and I know you've been gaming for a while. Like, what were some of the games you grew up playing? What was like the first console or platform that you were on, like as far as playing video games?
So I want to say this started back when I was like at least 5 years old. I think my mom at the time, she had a Super Nintendo. I think the first thing that I got my hands on. I just remember playing the old Super Mario World,
Nice.
Any type of Mario game back in the day. I mean, I know there was like even just anything that had to do with the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo was like the first thing, and then we jumped into my first console that I owned. I got a Nintendo 64. Was my legit first one.
Nice.
Getting the whole blister on your middle of your finger from Mario Party and, all the Mario games I've grown up on. I think it later transformed into like the PlayStation. I remember jumped to PlayStation 1. PlayStation 2, and then went to Xbox. And, I've always been around gaming. I mean, it's been kind of like my zen, my go-to, my escape from reality, which I think a lot of people can relate to. And it's just something that my whole family still does to this day. My little brother, my little sister, my kids love video games, my wife, so again, video games, a lot of people, I know my mom, she'll laugh at me at this now, or she did, but she would always be like, "Oh, get off there, you're wasting your time," or whatever,
right? No
and
shit.
then I remember the first time I told her that, I showed her, I think Ninja at the time when he was really big on Fortnite. I showed her, like, look at this guy making so much money and millions of people watching him, and she thought that was the craziest thing, but it was cool.
Yeah.
She was never like, that's stupid. No, she was like, that is freaking awesome. So I think, like I said, having your own system, I mean, it's bred in you. Once you got your first, your console or whatever you start on, I mean, I rarely see anyone that says, "Oh, I gave up video games." I mean, you're never going to give it up once you have it. One.
I think that in some aspect you kind of keep playing. You might not play as much or make it a priority, but I think you play on your phone or shit like that. And I'm the same way too. Like, I've always played games, and I've always got a lot of shit from friends or girlfriends or wife or whatever. But I always kind of just played video games. It didn't matter what it was too, so I can totally relate to that. So I know you just mentioned in the military and a little bit before, on your nickname and how you got it, and talking about being on Twitch. How did it lead to you being to streaming? Obviously, you were watching since 2014. I think it was Justin TV at the time, or was it Twitch already?
It was already Twitch. I remember I don't know why I used to watch people build, recreate Minecraft buildings. So they would take the Eiffel Tower, something crazy, and they would build it. And I don't know why my wife and I would sit there, I mean, hours on end watching, and I still remember his name. His name was Giant Waffle. He would just build these badass replicas on Minecraft. And I was sitting there like, this is freaking dope. Like, this is awesome. And, I never really thought about streaming or anything at that time. It was more of just watching. Obviously just kind of that's cool and all, but I just don't think I could do that. And so, yeah, it started off like that. And then I think as time went on, I looked at it and I was like, you know what?
Fuck it.
I'm an idiot. Think I'm funny. I was like, let's see what happens. And I realized that, I first got my PC, and I think the first month, Chris and maybe my wife, and that was all that was watching my streams.
Yep.
And I remember after 2 or 3 weeks, I looked at my wife and I said, you know what? I don't think I can do this, I'm talking to myself.
Yep.
And I still have a picture to this day of the first stream, almost one of the first streams I have, and it's just me and my best friend talking.
Nice.
That's it. And, to see that and know the times I've had thousands of people in my channel or watching, it's kind of weird. It's kind of insane. But when I realized I should try it is when I just was the funny gaming moments, the moments I knew that, hey, you know what? Why not show people the idiot things that I do and how funny this is, and just enjoy it together. So I think that's when I really realized, hey, I'm going to try this out.
And what's it called? So how long have you been streaming for now? Is it 2.5 years, 3 years? What are you at right now?
It's at 3 years, but the first year was really inconsistent.
Yeah,
we're talking 5 hours, 10 hours a week, maybe less, way less than that. And it was fluctuating because I just was getting off work and, get tired, and I would just not do it. And then I started seeing a production value and or more income coming in the longer I stayed on, and, just the more that I did. And so this has never been for me about money. It's more of just been a hobby. It's a hobby. I think everyone can agree with that. Some people really do take this as a serious, this is all they do. This is their only income, but this is not for me. And I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where I was like, you know what? Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's try this shit out. Let's get it going. Let's see what happens. So yeah. 3 years. So 2 years now I've been, a year and a half, 2 years is probably full time, averaging about 20 to 30 hours.
That's what I was going to ask you. So you've been you were up and down for a year, and then you finally turned that corner. You're like, all right, I'm going to take it more serious. And how did that go? In your head, you're like, you know what? I'm already investing X amount of time. Now I'm just going to, kind of put more effort than in before.
Well, it goes back to, looking at your analytics. If you're trying out streaming and you're not going back and looking at what's working and what's not working, you're not going to see
Yep.
growth. And I think when I started noticing that, like the longer I streamed, the more than 1 hour streams, the more people would come in and tune in, and the more followers you get. So it's one of those things is you go back, you look, you take that week or you take that 2 weeks, you look what was working and what's not working. And I think that's when I was like, you know what, man, if I think I could do 20, 30 hours, about average about 4 hours every day, 5 times a week. Boom, there it is. You know what I mean? So it's just looking, it's one, balancing your time and just knowing what works, I think is the best thing.
Yeah, so that's like one of the big things that you just kind of there's a good segue to it. So you started taking it serious, and then like how did you keep the motivation going once you started seeing the numbers, and obviously you're a full time dad, full time profession, you're married, have a family, and then you still juggle this in. Like how did that go about when you like to keep the motivation and also balancing once you started seeing traction? Because you didn't mention, and a lot of people don't, and I don't know if you heard me say this before. People stream for different reasons, and it's
Yep.
okay. That was the first year I started streaming myself, and I've said this before. Is I thought a lot like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Blah blah blah. But after I started doing it for a year, then I was like, you know what? People do it for different reasons,
Yep.
and it's okay. Like I'm not gonna hate on anybody who wants to just turn on the camera and play. It's all good. But after I hit that year and I saw you growing and I got to meet people, I started taking it more serious too. And then the aspect of balancing the life, your
Yep.
professional life, what pays the bills, you know,
Yep.
compared to this is, very tough. So how do you keep that motivation and balancing all that?
I think for one, the motivation for me is seeing the people that you affect daily with this. And this is what I mean by, I had someone the other day who's just joined my stream about a month or two ago. And he told me, I was going through some dark times, and coming to your stream, I've had nothing but great times for these past 2 months. So, that helps you stay motivated because you're like, oh crap, like it's not just turning into me being an idiot no more. It's like my content is bringing joy to someone who's
Yep.
going through a rough time. And so it's just an eye opener. But to keep it balanced and fresh, I think the hardest part is working, right? You get off of work, and this is what I was talking about. I got off of work and I would just be dead. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And then my wife and I talked, and she goes, you know what? Don't worry about it. Some nights if you get on earlier, the kids understand too. My kids they tell their friends at school, my dad's a streamer, and they think it's cool. And so
Yeah.
I think that helps out as well, knowing your kids are okay with it.
Yeah.
They do know that they come first no matter what.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if something's going on, I'm canceling right
Yeah.
away. But they know that they love their dad, the streamer, but they know I want them to know that this is not an easy way. If they see these streamers on there that haven't worked a day of their life, and I want them to know that, you can do a full-time job, be successful, and still do this on the side and
Yeah.
be successful with this too. I don't want them to be these people that grow up and are very ungrateful and just think everyone just hands them anything. So I think being a good role model for your kids and streaming like this and showing them it's possible, even with the family, everything, that I think I would love that. They would win in my eyes.
I know that you mentioned something that a lot of the other people I've had on before is that family support. A lot of people might not, especially understand like your family, your wife, husband, or whatever, like understanding what you're doing, like taking X amount of time away from your family or whatever to do this thing.
Yeah.
But having the people at home understand is one of the biggest things because you could be the most successful person, but if you don't got that support at home, it's tough.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people off stream, like like I want to do more, but my wife or my kids or my husband and things like
Yep.
that because they don't understand. And as you start networking and talking to the right people and surround yourself around people, you become a support system for each other because a lot of us are going through the same goddamn thing.
Oh yeah.
So we're
Eh,
trying to
eh,
pursue this, but at the same time, we
And
know we got other shit going on and priorities and stuff like that.
you hit it perfect, right? And so this is where it goes back to, and I'm probably gonna hurt some feelings here. But I'm just speaking facts and my opinion. So if your significant other can't understand that, streaming slash video game, anything, right? Anything that has to do with where people think this is a waste of time, if they can't realize that this brings happiness and joy to you and takes your mentality to a better level,
Yeah.
kick them to the curb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if someone can't support you for the stuff that you like to do, I don't think that's a healthy relationship in my opinion. My wife is always telling me, when I'm sitting on the couch and like I've already kind of passed my 20-30 minutes of when I'm supposed to start my stream, she'll tell me, aren't you gonna get up and stream? And I'm like, I'm not feeling it. And she just gives me that look like, and I'm like, all right, let me get up and I'll go. So like, I'm blessed to say that I have someone supportive like that. But if those people that are not being supported for their hobbies like this, I just think that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
That's the biggest thing is the balancing. I've personally been, that was one of the biggest things I had to deal with, the past year after I started taking it more serious, because I started noticing that I would meet these people, and I'm sure you've gone around the same way. You pass by so many people, they come and go, but some people stick and some people don't, and it's just the way this field is. Once I started linking with the right people that had the same mentality in me, it was good, because for me, I was like, okay, if I'm going to spend this amount of time doing this, I'm going to take it serious. If I'm going to do that, okay, so now I'm going to do this. I'm going to build a brand. Okay, this is not just gaming for me and not just playing video games or just like that. Like, I consider myself a content creator. I pride myself on making my own videos, making my own posts, getting people together. I pride myself on that. And a lot of people, they like, oh, you're too serious. Like, good luck. Or like, yeah, that's what it is. Like, everybody streams for a different reason. And I've been fortunate with my community and the people I've met that this is pretty much a part-time job for me, that I could honestly say that I'm making money. I'm not doing it for the money, but everything I'm doing, I am making an income. But at the same time, I feel like what I bring to my content and my channel, people truly enjoy and support me. It's weird. I never thought that in my fucking life that people would enjoy watching me play and bullshit and have a good time, get people playing games, watch me play a scary game. Like, I never thought that. Like, when I first started, that was not even on my radar. So to like affect people on everyday basis is crazy. How you mentioned it's cool, because that was never the goal was never to be famous or make $1 million. It was just to have fun. And after I started having fun and taking it more serious, the quality got better, the production got better. How you said, I pride myself on it sounding good, looking good, keeping up with trends, keeping up with games. Like, you have to if you want to be successful.
And you know what? Another thing, you hit it right in the head too, is when you meet new people on stream, you also get invited to new games. There's all these indie games that I would never see myself play. Never. And I'm like, mainstream Call of Duty. That's it. No.
Yeah.
And then these guys are like, yo, try this. And it's like $2 here, $5 here. And with PC, you're very great. You're very open, and you have all these sources to come to you that you can play all these badass games that are cheap as hell. And you're over there investing 20 hours into a $2 game. And to this day, I'm like, holy crap. You know what I mean? Like, I spent $2 and I'm over here playing this game nonstop.
Right.
Compared to paying a $60 Madden game that comes out every year.
It's the same fucking bullshit.
I just stay away from that crap. And I tell people, like, if you have a game that you think I'm going to like or I'm laugh, just tell me. Even if it's $10, just let me know. Yeah. I'll try it out.
I think that was cool too, because when I first was watching you were big into Mage Quit at the time that I jumped in, and you were doing Rocket League, and I got an idea from you, man, and I don't know if I've ever told you, but when you were hosting these matches on your channel, it just blew me away that was even a thing, right? So I was like, how can I do something like that? Like, I got that idea, and obviously I made it my own. So I started running Call of Duty tournaments.
I remember that.
And I would do the announcing how you would, but just for gunfight tournaments. I wouldn't play. People would just show up. I'd make the format. I would make the format. I'd get all the money together, and then I would just host it. And people were so appreciative. and it was like it was cool. I didn't even think that was even a thing, and I got that from you because I think I'm pretty funny. You know,
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty funny. I'm not saying I'm funny for you or anybody
Yeah,
else. Like,
yeah.
but some people are like, God, you're an idiot. That was funny, or that was great. So hosting these little tournaments, it was cool because it was a way to meet people and play
Oh
different
yeah.
games and things like that.
Well, and you know, I've always been intrigued by the esports league, whether it be Halo, whether it was Call of Duty, whether it was, you know, any type of esports. It didn't matter. Rocket League just grew on me because I played it literally from, I think the first year it was out. One of the first years it was out, I think 2015. And so when I branched down, I ran into that league that I was in, and they were looking for casters. I was just like, yeah, let me try that out. You know, I watched sports my whole life. Easy.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I couldn't even keep up with the names on the screen, dude. I was just like, I was so lost. And people think like to this day it's easy. And I've had people jump in to try it out one time, and they're
Oh
like,
man.
dude, how do you do it?
Oh
How do you
man.
keep up with the names? I'm like, it's just practice, practice, practice. And you know, it makes you enjoy those games much more. I got to a point where Rocket League, I couldn't stand the damn game. I was like, I can't stand this game. I hate it. And then I was like, you know what if I watch it from the outside in? You know,
Yeah.
maybe I will enjoy the game more. So seeing these badass players come in and do these shots that, you know, my old ass couldn't do, I was like, dude, this is sick.
Right.
You know, just flipping out. So I think that brings more more enjoyment to games that you've kind of just branched away from it. But it was a fun experience. And I do remember you told me that you were like, hey, how does this work? I think about doing this. And I think I told you, I was like, oh, dude, that'd be sick. I don't even think I've seen anyone do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's okay, man. Like, there's a lot of content creators that I've watched, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, they do certain things, but I'll take the game from them all day, and I'll make my own thing. Because,
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is that we're all kind of, everybody's got an idea from everybody. It's just how you make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all it is. And you know, going back to what you were saying as far as keeping up, you know, I tell people, oh yeah, it's easy. I'm like, okay, pay attention to chat. Pay attention to make sure everything's looking good. Make sure you're playing
Yep.
decent. You know, all this stuff. So when you were doing those castings, not only were you keeping up with the score, with the names, what they've done before, their standings, looking at the chat, changing scenes, like it was crazy to see that you were doing all of this. And at the time, what I saw, you were doing it confidently. I don't know at the time how long you were doing it when I jumped in about a year and a half ago, but I was
Yeah.
like, damn, you know, this fool's on fire. This fool's tearing it up. You know, this is badass.
Well, and it goes back to like repetition, right? The more you did it, obviously, the more you do something, the more you're going to get better at it. I remember there was a point where I was like pressing buttons. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. In fact, let's just keep going. And you get so used to it. But I always tell people there's certain games that you play that are just so hard to play and focus on. You have to like use your peripherals, do a slight glance, and go back. And Rocket League is one of those games. Anything with driving, if you look off 2 seconds from what you're doing,
Yep, that's it.
You're
Yeah,
hitting
that's
a
it.
wall, you're hitting a tree, whatever. I remember playing Forza, and I looked up for 2 seconds. I'm in the ditch flipping. So I'm like, yeah, let me just stop messing around and pay attention.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff. We got buttons, we got lights. You know what I mean. We want it to sound good, we want it to look good. Like there's so much going on, and a lot of people once they try it, because I tell, hey man, go ahead and try it, man. Go ahead and try it. Like,
And that's the only thing you can't do when people are like, dude, how do you do it? And I just tell them, I don't know. I just tried it. I mean, that's all it's one of those things you have to dive in, right? If you give it 20% of your motivation, you're going to get 20%
Yeah, exactly.
back. And so people realize, I think one of the best things I heard from the guy that played Minecraft back in the day when I watched him, when it first started, he said, if you treat this like a job, it'll pay like a job eventually. And I was like, well, that's cool. So once I started doing that and took it from just playing and having a good time to something that I wanted to, how you said, financially benefit you too because of what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
I think that's where it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, because obviously you're still having fun and you're still being yourself. It's not like you changed anything.
Yeah.
As far as what you brought from yourself, you know, it's not like you changed. Oh, I'm gonna be this kind of Orwiggle. I'm gonna do this. No, you were still your same, but you were just like, all right, well, I'm gonna treat this more as a business because I am putting in the time, I am putting in the effort, I am, you know, putting up cameras and lights and so on and networking, and you know, a lot of people don't understand that there's so much that goes behind it. that.
And you know what's funny is I give you kudos, man, because you do all your production things yourself. I'm gonna tell you right now, I may be playing on a computer, but any type of editing and stuff, nah. For one, I don't have the time. It's kind of tough for me. I do work like a really long full-time job, and so I don't have the time to really sit there because I come home, hang out with the kiddos, help keep my wife out whenever I can, and so I don't really have necessarily the time, because that time that I have left is for me to provide the content.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed enough to actually have a video editor, and now I have a manager. So it just things like that. I didn't see myself like, what, a manager? What the hell?
That's crazy, but that's cool because it helped, because that's how much you're putting out there. Because at the same time, like, if these guys can help me do what I got to do and I could just focus on this, it totally makes sense. The reason, and I appreciate you saying the whole editing stuff. For me, it's backwards. I don't have the time to stream every day. I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't. So the way I grew a lot is because of my videos on TikTok, my videos on Instagram, my posts. That's how I grew, is putting my videos out, because I could only be live maybe 8-10 hours a week.
Yep.
Because I work full time. I have my kids. I could only be away so much, at night, because I want to hang out with my wife and shit like that, and weekends. But, at the time, I was watching Stone Mountain, and he would always put out videos and talk about putting videos out.
Oh, yeah.
So I got better because I do have an IT background, so I was confident video editing and stuff like that. But when I got good at it, I was just knocking them out. So as I'm playing games, I'm already thinking of a video I'm going to post. I'm already clipping shit. You know what I mean? My brain is like always turning of how like I could put stuff out there, because I can't be streaming as much as I would want. I just can't. And it's just the way it is. And, that's how I go about my business, but it works for me.
And you know what's crazy is opening yourself up. I was that person. I'm like, TikTok, that shit is stupid. For the longest time, I was like, I'm not doing that. That's so dumb. I'm not doing it. And then someone's like, just try it out. And I was like, my wife's like, just download it and see what it's about. I said, downloaded it. And granted, I'm not like still one of those people that are like all day, but oh my God, some of the funniest things I've ever seen are on TikTok, dude. I'm like, holy crap. And all the gaming videos, and same here. I put videos out there, and that's on the rise too. So, TikTok, and my chat always says, everyone knows TikTok is a big thing right now where you can grow your stream even if you don't have the viewership. I mean, that's just a huge start where you could put your name out there and branch out.
Yeah, I was so against it too. I didn't start doing it honestly until like 3 or 4 months ago, maybe. And my wife would always be on TikTok, and I know people were on TikTok putting videos, but I didn't think about it being a way to get eyes out there. So as I started like researching and following like medium-sized content creators, and I would learn so much from them, because that's another thing too, is you have to kind of keep up with what's going on in this industry, because if you're not evolving and looking at your numbers, how you said, and I've run into a lot of streamers and, homies out there, and it's nothing personal against them. They're like, oh, I don't care about the numbers. Well, I do. If I'm going to be streaming for 3 hours and nobody's showing up, then I'm not either playing the right game, or it's the wrong time, or because I'm not doing it just to do it anymore. And that's just me.
And there's a difference. There's a difference with that too, is, if let's say you're just starting out and you're going 3 hours and you have one viewer.
Yeah.
That's understandable, but you're right. If you see yourself and you have hundreds, maybe 1,000 followers, and you're still averaging 2 viewers, 3 viewers,
that's not
you're
good.
doing something wrong. Everyone knows that. I mean, and goes back to this, streaming is not for everyone. People can do it. You could just pick up a camera and just get on here and do something. But how can you retain the viewership? How can you keep it spicy? How can you keep it going? That's where people fail. And I think a lot of people just don't have it in themselves to realize, like myself, when I was averaging my wife and my best friend watching me, I sat there and I'm like, I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up. This is stupid. But my wife was like, just keep going. She goes, what your problem is right now is you're not talking. You're sitting there like a mute. And I'm like, oh shit. She goes, just keep talking. So that's where I started getting into this. I didn't give a shit. I didn't even pay attention to the stream, how many people were in there. I just kept talking, And then slowly you start seeing people coming in. And then that's what it is. It's how you said, pay attention, what's working, what's not. And you could still have fun no matter the viewership, but you don't want to always get complacent and stay in that lane, because then it's just not growing. Yeah,
that was one of I hit a wall a lot, like a year and a half ago, yeah, I hit a wall where I was like, man, I got to be the best Warzone player because that's what everybody's doing, and
Yeah.
and I was like, what, like, I wasn't that good, and I was okay with it, and I didn't want to spend the time to get better at a game. But you were one of the content creators that I followed, and other people at the time that they were a variety streamer and they were being successful, and I was like, once like I hit my year and I was comfortable of like who I was and what I brought, I found out my niche was me. I am
Yeah.
the content. It doesn't matter what I'm playing or doing. Like I feel like I could generally have a good time and put some good stuff out there that people enjoy or laugh at or can relate to. And a lot of people have a hard time like fighting that niche and being okay with it, because once you find your niche and what you're good at, then you have to start tweaking and making things fun and changing games and doing this, because
Yep.
you could sit there and get 10 20 kills a game on Warzone and not talk and have a good following. I've seen people do it, but that's just not me. you know
Well, and it goes back to, okay, there's two type of people that succeed in this industry. Either you're super badass at a game, like God mode, right?
Yeah.
And you're not funny, you're just God mode,
Yeah.
killing people. Or you're an idiot, you're yourself,
Yep.
and you're pretty much a comedian
Yeah.
of some sort. And unless you're an e-girl, then you just wear a bikini. But that's a different topic. And and what I'm getting at is like, I pride myself in being the absolute worst video game player on some games, but it's gonna bring content in
Yeah.
the sense of the dumb shit that I
Yeah.
do. And so once I realized that I'm not here to be a professional gamer, I'm here to be a content creator. You know how you are. That's where you level up. You realize like it don't matter what I play. It's what the hell happens when you play
Exactly.
that is gonna bring the people
catching
in.
those moments, man, and when I started doing the TikTok thing, and I was putting the videos out during that time, Facebook started paying us out for views on these videos. So
Okay.
that gave me a whole other way of making money off the video stuff that I was already doing. It's amazing that there's so much ways of making money out there for a content creator. And you've said it, like just branching out and willing to try. Like that podcasting thing gave you an opportunity to meet more people, do different things, be more confident on your craft, how you present yourself on camera, how you speak. All that is a lot of things that people are scared of when it comes to this. What I've always wanted to do a podcast. I listen to podcasts all the time, but it just didn't make sense a year ago. It just didn't make us like, I don't want to do something that nobody's going to like, or it's not going to hit, because I'm not doing something just to do something. If I make a move, it's because it makes sense and it's going to progress me forward in what I'm doing. And that goes back to what we're saying, like kind of always branch out, willing to try different things. You know what I mean? Like try it.
And that's the thing. You just stay positive and jump in, man. Go all in. Who cares, right? And you're gonna fail. I feel like I'm gonna fail if I don't attempt something, and that's just the way it is. And the times, like I said, where I don't feel like streaming, I jump on. One perfect night. One of those nights, I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. F this. Like I'm just tired. And I was like, you know what? Something's telling me to stream tonight. And then boom, I got rated by one of the biggest Twitch Rocket League streamers. Caught me off guard. So what if that night I didn't do that? So if you don't take these chances and you just sporadic and just do it, you never know. You just never know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, and you were saying it, the whole talking thing. Like I'll jump in on a streamer. I like lurking on people, and then I'll start talking. If they don't acknowledge me, like within like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, dude, okay, it's all good. You're just streaming just to stream. I'm not learning anything or want to be here, and it's okay. And there's a lot of people out there, and that's why there's a million people doing the same goddamn thing. But once you start seeing the people that really like are putting time into this, those are the people that I want to follow and enjoy, because I could care less if you're just the best Warzone player. I can care less. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Well, and it's funny because I did a poll one time on Twitter, and I was like, I wrote on there, when you're watching your favorite streamer and or streamer, that's not big time, right? The people that have thousands where you can't keep up with the chat. That's
just different.
I said, what do you look for? Do you want somebody who is talking to you, or do you like the gameplay? And I think it was like 90-10. 90% liked when you replied back to them and had a conversation more than the actual gameplay. So I think That's a real eye opener for anyone. How you said that is trying to do this, and you're just uncomfortable talking. You're just not a speaker. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to break that habit. You're gonna have to try something. So I don't know. It just depends on who you are and what works for you. Everyone's different.
Yep.
What you do works for you. What I do works for me. And so it's how it works.
I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, this person's doing this, let me try that, and it doesn't work. Oh fuck. Like at the same time, you can't. And me, this is just me. I'm not the type of person to throw a bunch of shit on the wall and see what sticks. I'm not doing that. I just I'm too old to fucking try and think that I could be the best player at a certain game. But I know what works for me and whatever. But I'm not afraid to try something that I know that's going to work. I might not work initially, or it might not pop off right away. But I feel like when I was putting this podcasting together, and I hadn't talked to you about this, but I've talked to you about now. When I was like, all right, I want to do a podcast thing, and I want to sit down with content creators that I know, because it makes sense, because I generally know them, and I could sit down and talk to them and have some good conversation. But like a year ago, it didn't make sense. I would have been reaching out to people I didn't know, or like friends.
Yeah.
And
like, what the hell
and I wanted to do it when it made sense, and I know it was gonna hit, because people were like, hey, you should do a podcast. I was like, I am working on it. So when I was thinking of all these people, you were one of the top 5 that I had to make sure I had to get on there. Because I was like, I have to get Brian on there. He is one of the reasons I started just even doing this shit. Just even when it was just Mixer with my USB camera on my Xbox, with 0 people watching me, I was doing it, making little YouTube videos, and I was inspired by what you had brought and what you've built on that side. So I was like, man, I got to get Brian on this shit, man. So yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. So now that, we've talked about your past and what you got going on, and now, like, how was 2021? How was 2021 as far as content creation? How did you look back at that year, and like, what were the takeaways from, like, the good, the bad?
I think the takeaways is that I realize is that, the casting those Rocket League tournaments, I used to always get recognized, even playing randomly in Rocket League. People would be like, oh, you're Orwiggle the caster. And I got sick of it. I was like, you know what? That's not what I'm not just making views and doing that just to be a Rocket League caster for RLCS, which is like the biggest thing for esports for Rocket League. I was like, I was just doing it for a hobby. I was doing it because I love sports, and Rocket League was a badass game that I liked to watch. And so for 2021, what I look back on is that midway through the year, it's like, you know what? I don't need to do that to bring views and or get followers and people to support my stream. I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And so I look back, I think April of last year, I have a picture of my analytics. I think I was at 2,400 followers. And we are almost to the end of January, and I'm almost at 3,100 followers. So take consideration the past 3 months that I haven't been truly 100% casting like I was, and I think I have like 500-600 followers, maybe a little bit less, but that just goes to show you that I like how I thought I didn't need to just cast games for people to come in. I didn't need to do that. So for 2022, what my goal is obviously you want to reach partner on Twitch. That's probably the hardest thing to do, is average 75 viewers. I know I've been pretty close there a few times, and I've had the opportunity to actually apply for partner, but it's retaining the viewers.
Yeah.
And so I think what I want to do is I want to get my average up to like 50 this year, about midway through the year. And at the end, I want to average in the hundreds.
Yeah,
so
of course. Yeah,
that's my goal.
Yeah, and that's like realistic too. And as far as what you bring to your channel, what you've already been doing, because a lot of people, that immediate success is why people like drop off. Like there's a lot of people that I started off with that are from my city or around the same time I started. They either skyrocketed and then just plateaued, or they just quit, because it's not for everybody. You said it's tough. There's a lot that goes on behind the camera to get here, to do all this, there's so much going on. So one thing that, what I look back at 2021 is like, once I started getting, I had a good groove. I know what I bring. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. And meeting the right type of people is one of the things that I learned from last year, because I would just like, oh, I got to play with this person. I got to play with this. I got to do this. And then I was like, hold on a second. Fuck that. I'm going to be me. Yeah. I'm going to be Jimmy Dukes. And if people want to roll with me, great. And if you don't, it's all good. Because some people have come and they've never come back. It's all good. But the people that want to be here, they will be here, and I'm not worried about the people that that don't want to be here. It's all good. I appreciate you coming by here and there, but the core community is like what I want to focus on, because those are the people that keep me motivated and want me to keep doing this, and I enjoy doing it. It is a getaway for me too, just how you say it is a getaway, but at the same time I'm making money. Like, how the fuck does that work? That's so crazy.
You know what? I'm the same way, right? Like some people, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of vile / funny, nasty stuff we talk about. That's just who we are. My community is a bunch of weirdos. I'm the giant weirdo there. And you know what? I've come to realize that some people are like, oh man, like this guy just talks about some weird stuff. You know what? It's how you said. There's the door. Thanks for the follow. If you don't want to come back,
Yeah.
peace. But the people that come back is because they are. I always say my community has some type of. We all have something in common. Something. It doesn't matter. And the people that come back, and I'm the type of person too where I don't change who I am. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm gonna stay who I am. If I cuss a lot and someone say, hey, yeah, I think you're dropping too much the F words. And I'm like, well, you can hit the fucking door.
What the fuck?
This is this is fucking me. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's what I say. It's fucking me. And it is what it is. Go watch a family fun streamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Not me.
Yeah, there's so many people doing the same damn thing. I tell people, when you start streaming, you're either going to have like a persona, which is fine. I've seen a lot of people have personas or gimmicks.
Yep.
And you stick to that gimmick and it works. Or just be yourself. But whatever works, like, for you, don't look at it as like, oh, like, I remember, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, like the hot tub streamer girls or whatever, right? People are like, oh, there's 1,000 people watching her. I'm like, well, those 1,000 people wouldn't watch me, so why should I care? Why do I worry about other people's numbers? Like, those numbers aren't my numbers. Like, if you're worried about like, oh, well, I need more people watching me this. Well, what are you doing? How are you retaining? How are you getting people to come to see you? You just turning on the game and hoping people show up. Good fucking luck.
Well, and I use those as example. The e-girls is a big example for me, for the simple fact that more than likely, that's like today's generation of porn. I mean, they just go on, watch this girl and be like, hey, I'm gonna give her like $2, and then they'll be like, thanks, Papi Chulo 22, and they're like, oh my god,
yeah, $20.
You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, like freaking out, like just the pants. So it's
everybody has they follow people for different reasons. Exactly. Obviously, people aren't gonna show up to see me win fucking all these games. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you, while I'm playing, you're gonna fucking laugh, because you're gonna get to know me and you're gonna see what I bring to the table. So it's it's crazy.
It's funny too, because I use that to my advantage. Sometimes I have where I'll be like, Wiggles in a hot tub today. And I remember I did that the first time, and I think like 25 people were already waiting within a minute, and I was dying laughing. I mean, and they know I was messing around, but like just to show you like what you could get away with. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it goes back to how you said, you know what? Focus on whatever's working for them. Cool.
Yeah.
If they want to show some, I'm gonna say this word, taint on the internet, go ahead, do what you got to do. But like for us over here, like we don't do that.
Yeah,
like,
I got a hairy taint. Nobody wants to see that shit.
Hey, just give it a little braid, dude. You'll be all right.
So now, so you've been doing it for so long, and now that you can look back and honestly say like, damn, like, what are some tips and some advice to somebody who might be in here right now or might be watching this later, like? What kind of tips or advice would you give to somebody who wants to start? Not that you regret anything, because I feel like you're old enough and I'm old enough. Like, I don't regret things now, because it makes you who you are and it builds your character, good or bad. So what kind of advice or tips would you give to somebody who's trying to get into something like this that you didn't do and wish you would have known when you first started?
I think for me personally, on a standpoint, is don't go into this thinking, hey, I'm gonna make $2,000 this first month. Like don't set the bar so high. Don't expect anything too high. I think when I first started, I was like, man, I only have my best friend watching. I suck. No, like just try it out. Stay positive. Be yourself. Don't change yourself, because anyone that meets me in person, they know I'm just as much of an idiot outside of the stream world as I am in. Mm-hmm. And so my thing is if you're going to really consider doing this, one, treat it like a job, but 2, don't go into it expecting everything great to begin with. That's the biggest thing. And I honestly think just stay positive. Stay positive. Don't worry about the numbers at first.
Yeah.
Just get
Keep
your
going
branch
at it.
in. How you said, get your persona, fill it out. What do you want to be? Who are you? And stick to that.
Yep.
I mean, that's the easiest thing I could say. And you know what? Don't look at anyone else's success because everyone is different. Yeah. Don't compare your stream to anybody. I used to do that. I used to be like, man, this guy started with me. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, man, I still do. I still do, but I do it differently. The way I do it, and I've heard people say this, I'm sure you have. Oh, it's not a competition. It's not me versus you. Well, me, I have a competitive nature in my background, but I treat it as a positive competition. Like, damn, Brian's tearing it up. I got to do shit too. Oh, my boy Reef is doing this. Man, it motivates me in a good way. Like, I see you guys or you guys doing things, so it motivates me. It doesn't mean that I have to be better than you or whatever. It just motivates me. And I've gotten that from people too. Like, damn, Jimmy, you've been putting out videos every day. I'm like, yeah, that was my goal for this year, is that I want to put out 1 clip a day. If I could do 1 clip a day is my goal. And I've been trying to do it. Maybe I'll miss a day, but just little things that motivates me and I see other people doing, it's like doing all those little things is what leads up to, you being on camera, getting people to stay, wanting to be part of the community. It's crazy. And you made some good points, be yourself, stick to it, just like anything else in life. You're not going to fucking be the greatest or anything, but if you're going to fail and over again and it's not for you, then hey, but if you keep failing, but you get up and you keep tweaking and like that's what you got to do. You got to evolve in this game. Like, you got to evolve. You can't just depend on that one thing to get you through, because eventually it's gonna get phased out. And what else are you other than a Warzone streamer?
Well, and that's that's funny too is I've never been afraid of failure.
Yeah,
I really haven't. You know what? When I first started and I could have given up, my wife talked me out of it, but I could have just been like, but no, in my eyes, I had failed. I did fail, for a month straight to only average of 1 viewer. And then I see other people come into my chat or my community and they're like, hey man, like, I can't hit affiliate. I need help. I'll jump right in because I know the struggle's hard, man. I know it is. I tell them, I'll get you to affiliate. We'll help out my community. We will. But after that you're on your own. Yeah. I mean, because I never even had that. I had to grind from the beginning. I knew nobody, not a single person I knew when I first started. So, I know the struggle and I will help people out. But after that, like I said, it's up to you. And that's where we go back to be yourself. And if it's not working, then you have to really sit down and open up the books again and realize, okay, what the hell am I doing wrong? And if you realize that, hey, you change things up, then you as a new streamer, if you're not bringing in views or anything at all, something is wrong. So I think that's when you kind of realize, okay, this might not be for me. I think once you've exhausted all your resources and you've done everything you possibly can, it's just not for everybody.
Yeah, not everybody could be as successful in anything, even if you put your time into it. And it just might not be for you. And that's one of the hard realizations for a lot of people, because they go in with a mindset saying, oh, I could play games and have people show up. Well, good fucking luck when nobody shows up for a whole month. All right, then you got people showing up and now you plateaued. What are you doing? I think a lot of people that I've seen from afar, I know on Facebook, and I use a lot of the numbers. I'm looking at shit. When people hear me talk about this, they're like, Jimmy, what? You could do that. I'm like, dude, on Facebook, there's so many analytic tools, and like you could actually compare yourself to other people. So I obviously compare myself to somebody ridiculously above me. Then I have people that are, medium to partners, and then people around my level, and then people below me. And then I see how I'm doing, because I like to see, like, shit, if I'm not progressing, and I could see people plateau, they'll plateau, and I keep rising, because I'm always evolving, I'm always changing, I'm keeping up with the games and things like that. So if you're not doing that kind of stuff, like, good luck trying to be successful. But if you're going to do it just for fun and you're okay with it, then you're good. But don't bitch when nobody shows up is what I pretty much tell people.
So, and it's funny too, right? So you look back and something you said I loved, and I'm so glad you said this. You were like, I don't just want to play Warzone just because it's the hottest thing right now. And I've always prided myself in, games like that where there's top streamers in that category just playing Warzone. You are a little fish in that gigantic pond or ocean in regards to Warzone. Or it's the same thing with Fortnite, right? The people that got really famous on Fortnite, they were already doing that before it really took off.
10 years ago.
Exactly. So it's like Warzone, everyone's trying to do it. And so Warzone, eventually you're going to run out of content unless you're winning all the time. And you and I both know that you ain't going to be winning that game a lot. Everyone knows it's tough. That's a tough game to win at. And especially if you're streaming and you're just zoned in, you're like, it's still going to be boring, right? You're winning, but is anyone going to like the Jimmy Dukes that they watch?
Yeah, because I've
killing somebody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Because I've seen people like get burnt out on Warzone because they feel like they have to do it. I've seen a lot of streamers here on Facebook that are partners. They start getting away from playing Warzone, and people will bitch. Like, oh, why aren't you playing Warzone? He's like, motherfucker, like, I want to play other shit. And if you want to watch it, great. If not, then don't. You know what I mean? Like, people get stuck and feel like they have to play a certain game. And maybe they do to a certain extent. But at the same time, like, especially with the whole world of Warzone right now, it just cheaters and lags and updates. It's hard to stay positive and do so much on that when just not everything's hitting as far as the game itself, man. So it's crazy.
And I think too is that it's how you said when you saw me start doing that, branching out, just playing random shit, you get a sense of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah,
too.
you do.
I don't know about you. Like,
initial reaction to something, fucking lunch lady. Like, it's just like random shit like that. That $5 had brought so much entertainment and laughter to my channel and my community. Like, I would have never played that game 2 years ago.
Well, and you look back too, right? Like, I think you and I kind of grew up the same. I remember coming over and we would hang out and we would all be playing Call of Duty. What else did we play? Forza a lot. I know we played a couple times. Just the main games. I know there was a lot of games that we just mainstream games that we played. And so when people are like, hey, play this game, it came out in 2016. I'm like, holy shit, this was
wow, how did I miss this?
Is so cool. Yeah, I'm like, this is awesome. So yeah, I mean, you and I are very similar in that aspect. Like, I'm glad you realized that, because I do remember at one point it was just straight Call of Duty with you. And then I started seeing you mix it up. I'm like, okay, we both played Little Nightmares. When I played it and then I saw you try it out and you were the same reaction, like, what the fuck is this game, dude? Like, it's a sense of enjoyment. It makes you, that's the change we're talking about. That's the growing and realizing, you know what? I'll be okay with not just playing one game. Let me try this out instead. And like, I'll give you an example. I play Overwatch right now. That game's quote unquote to everyone's been dead forever. I still play the shit out of it. And I get a lot more viewers watching me doing that than anything. And they're like, oh man, I didn't know they did this or they changed this in this game. And here they are playing it 2 months later. So it goes back to, just play what the hell you want to play and do what you want to do. That's it. Yeah.
Because as much as like I talk shit about Warzone, I loop back around it. I do. Like, I'm not the best Warzone player, but I'll play it. But I do play multiplayer, which I'm more than decent at. Like, when I was playing Cold War, like, why are you playing Cold War? I was like, watch me play. Watch me play Free For All, and I'll start, fucking up some people. And that's when I get sweaty. It's like, I'm not sweaty at a lot of games, but you put me on Free For All, like on Halo or Call of Duty, like, I do more than decent. I'm like winning a game every other couple games or top 3, That's when I want to get sweaty. If you want to see my competitive side, I'll play multiplayer and you'll see me. But other times I just want to play Little Nightmares or fucking other games and fuck around and have a good time. It's not always about being the best.
Well, and the funny thing is too, like with games like that, Warzone, I hate Warzone for the simple fact that, one, right, the hackers, cheaters, whatever. That's like number one. But number two, if I gotta take 2 goddamn clips to kill you, 2, then that's it. I'm not playing the fucking game. But that's why I go straight hardcore. 1 in the chest or two in the chest, 1 in the head. You're done.
Yeah.
Boom. Done. That's it. It's realistic. I don't have to deal with the bullshit. I'm not jumping off with a random parachute coming out of my ass. Things like that. That's the stuff I'm talking about. But again, Warzone's not for everybody.
Yep.
Some people love that crap. I don't, because it's not realistic and because I hate that you have to loot for shit. And I don't like it. So that's what I'm saying is Call of Duty, Cold War, graphics were shit. Game was still fun as hell.
Yeah, hell yeah. I played the fuck out of that game.
Love that game.
I played the fuck. Like, I'm starting to get like that with Vanguard. Like, A lot of people
Oh,
might
yeah.
not like it, and they'll just play it for Warzone to grind the guns. But I enjoy it, like, and I'm decent at it. You know, I'll get in the free for all hardcore, and I'm doing decent. You know, but I'll always loop back around how you do the Overwatch. Like, I won't just
Yep.
play Call of Duty. Like, I'll try to do my best to do like a week of one game, then the following week,
Oh, yeah.
or mix things. Like late at night, I'll play just small little games or random shit, more chill. Like at my prime time, I'm more just like more community based, or I'm co-streaming, with certain people on certain games. But opening up the different games. Like the other day, I played this game called Ready or Not. It's a SWAT tactical team. You get
Yeah.
hit in you get hit in the chest like 2 or 3 times, you're done. That's it. No revive, no respawn.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? But I liked it. I would
It
have
is,
never
yeah.
thought that. I can't respawn. Ah, fuck this game.
And I think it comes back to like Call of Duty releasing a game every fucking year. It kind of ruined it. In my opinion, it ruined it. I mean, if they stuck to the whole 2 year, 3 years, so it started out with Modern Warfare for me. I love that game. I was playing it nonstop.
Yep.
I was streaming it nonstop. It was fun. I would buy stuff for that game, and then boom, I think it started Cold War, and then Vanguard. It was just like back to back to back. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not spending
Yeah.
fucking money
Yeah.
on any of this shit no more. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna spend $20 and I'm gonna go buy 3
Indie games that are on
indie
Steam.
games. Yeah, 3 indie games. I can get 3 of those games, especially during the summer, the winter sales. That's when you just start
Yeah.
jumping in money towards games. And that's when you realize, you know what? It doesn't need to be this high end game,
Yeah.
$60 game to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
It's what you make of it too. It's like what content are you bringing when you're playing certain games? Because I know I got my first idea back to you giving you credit, and I've said this, like, I would have never thought this, but Brian played this game. I'm gonna play it. Like a scary game. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just like, what the fuck? And me personally, I don't like scary games and never have. I've never gone out of my way to play any Resident Evils. I haven't gone out of my way to play any of those shits, right? But once I started playing them, and like people would genuinely like my reactions because I felt so uneasy, my hands are sweaty, I'm doing it because it's fun. But that's the best part of it. Is I would have never done that if I would have not been open to try it. And people enjoyed it, and people were like, man, you need do another scary game. Like, all right, cool. I'll loop back around to one. All right, I got you guys. All right, cool, you guys. Because at the same time, and you said earlier, you have to know your community. You have to play to the crowd to a certain extent too. Obviously, if one thing that I do is I don't force a game on my community. If I'm gonna play a game and it's on my prime time and like nobody's really coming and everybody likes it, then I know that, hey, I tried it and maybe I could just play this game offline.
Yeah.
I play a lot of games offline. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to stream. Like one game that I really was going in hard on and I wanted to was New World, but nobody was showing up.
That was the same with me.
I
It's one of
enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
nobody's gonna come watch. It's just too slow of a game. It's not really something I'm known for or play. It just, you can't just fucking force
Before
it
I
on your community.
And before I forget, because I don't know how this works, I have you up on my Twitch. I want to say Semper Fi to Pete right there in your chat. You see that right there? And then Bobby asked me a quick question just so I can answer this. He says, do I play VR? I've tried VR one time and I almost passed the fuck out. I am old as shit, and I think my buddy Nick had me jump into a Starfighter Star Wars virtual reality set, and I looked up and down. It was pitch black space, and I almost passed the freak out. It was probably the worst experience because I was just like, this feels so real, but yet I almost died. I almost died. So I just didn't want to skip that because your Twitch is actually, there's a lot of people commenting. So I
Yeah,
don't want to
no,
lose
that's
those.
the same. But now that I've kind of gone through all the different things. The one thing I want to ask you is what is your goal as a content creator? Like, what would you want to accomplish in this short period of time or long period of time? Like, what is the goal for you as a content creator? Like, overall, like, what do you want to get out of this?
I think. Fuck, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
because you're
you got
3
me
years
on that
in.
one.
You're 3 years in. Like, all right, what do I want out of this? Obviously, you're doing it and you enjoy it, and it's a source of income to a certain extent. But
So
how long do you see yourself doing it? What is the ultimate goal to being your content creator?
I would lie when I said that I would never want to be partner and I would never want to have thousands and make this my only income. I'd be a lie now. That'd be a lie. I've been doing this too long to not lie and say that. Is it practical? yes and no, depending on the day,
Yeah.
depending on the grind.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, my next thing that I want to do is be a Twitch partner and or possibly YouTube. I haven't decided that yet, but keep continuing to grow and just be you know, a role model to some people and or how I said Krill, he's in your Twitch chat right now. He was one person that, for someone to say that I have turned their depression / shitty like life going on,
Yeah.
everything going on right now, to know that you have that effect and
Yeah.
or that you know what I mean? That it hit me hard yesterday when I read that. I was like, holy shit. I don't think I've heard that a few times, but like the way he said it yesterday, and I just was like, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I've had that too, like off stream, like, dude, just when you're on and just like you laughing and like making jokes, and it makes my day. And I'm like, that was crazy because that was never my intent. But me just being me, people like, because you've known me for a while, and
Oh yeah.
I'm a character, and I'm a really social
You
guy.
are the bright light in the room, and
I'm a social guy, so
the beautiful locks walk in the room, and that's Jimmy Dukes. That is Jesus Cristo himself coming in and raining down on us. No, Jimmy is one of those people. We both are. We're really loud, really ambitious people, and we light up the room. And I think that's, as a content creator, will have you going in a further direction and a quicker pace than anybody else, because it's just natural to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. You said that earlier because I feel like our characters and how we already were before doing this has helped us grow in this, because I grew up playing hockey, playing sports, being the funny guy, and just me being in front of a camera it took a little bit to get used to. Other than that, I'm like, you've known me for so long. I'm Jimmy on and off the camera, and I just feel like I don't ever have to fake the funk, of being myself.
The only difference is that your community and chat and everybody was looking for something for you to do something stupid on. I don't know how many times I've been caught doing something stupid. I'm like, damn it, they got me. Damn it.
That happens all the time too. Shit. All right, we're gonna open up the QA. If you guys have any questions for Orwiggle, put and post it, and we'll pick one out here. I don't want to take too much time of Brian. I don't know if you're gonna.
No, you're fine. No,
you're gonna
I'm not
stream
going
right
to
now
tonight. No, I'm not going to tonight. More than likely, I wanted to give this podcast and everyone or here
full attention.
A different side of me.
Yeah, of course, and that's perfect.
I'm very joking, so
it's perfect. That's exactly. And it's crazy, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I've already had a lot of people like message me, "Hey, can I be on your podcast?" Yeah, and I'm like, who the fuck are you?
See, and that's another thing too. Is I'm the same way. I've had people like, "Can you raid me?" Like, you know what?
You should. Yeah,
I love you, but sometimes you've got to like know
that
your
streamer
boundaries.
etiquette.
And so
people do not know.
And you can ask Jimmy that he came to me. I wasn't like, "Hey Jimmy, what the fuck? I'm episode 5. What the fuck?"
Right?
No, I don't care. I'm still on, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's funny. What is it? Hey, what up, Adrian? In here, what's up, man? What time is formation? Is what Adrian said.
Adrian, it's 0600 and silkies, and you better be shirtless in my bedroom. That's
nice.
How formation is.
Who's better, K-cup or wattage?
We're talking.
Put you on the spot.
Oh damn. Okay, so K-cup, let it be known, she is my manager. So she obviously, if we're talking business standpoint, K-cup is. If we're talking making me laugh because you're fucking clueless sometimes, is wattage. So
nice.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
It's in a good way. You're clueless in a good way.
Yeah. All right, I got a question from Francis. Mr. Orwiggle, what is your favorite game to play?
Ooh, shit. I don't think I have a legit favorite. If I had to, okay, so Rocket League is probably my main one that I play often and whatnot. But like my favorite, like where I just get on and like I could have a good time, a bad time, and I'm still coming back, I'd have to say Overwatch. Overwatch is kind of that game that I wish didn't die as quick as it did. And Overwatch 2 is probably not going to get announced until I'm 50 years old, which is down the street. But, them getting purchased out by Xbox, by Microsoft, I think it's going to help out. But yes, those are my like two go-to. I do love Call of Duty and whatnot. I'm just not a Warzone player, but any type of game, I'm just a gamer, man. I mean, every game intrigues me. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll try it out. But I couldn't just hone it in on one game. I really can't.
Yeah. All right, I got another one from Rambo Slice. What up, homie?
Uh-oh.
Best advice for a new streamer who is on the older spectrum. Both open to Jimmy and Brian. I'll let you answer. You're the guest.
Well, for one, Jimmy beats me in this category. He's got hair. He's gonna beat me there. But no, honestly, I think for an older person is just be yourself. A lot of people are I call them snowflakes these days, right? You can't speak your mind about things without people getting offended. And you know what? I don't care. You know what I mean? I just be yourself, man. You're going to say some things that nobody agrees with. I've lost many people in my stream because I've said something about something stupid, you know, and like, oh my God, I remember we were talking about it. You know, I said the word taint and people are like, whoa, taint, whoa. And you know what? If you can't handle that, or moist is something I used to say a lot. If you can't handle the word moist, I mean, I don't say it in a derogatory manner. I just literally say like, I'm moist, like it's moisture. You know what I mean? I'm wet. My pits are moist. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, back to what we're saying, or what I'm saying, Chris, is like, if it's never too late, it don't matter. I've seen people in their 50s streaming and they're having a blast, bro. They're having a damn good time. Yeah,
because I'm the same way. Well, Brian said that. I'm 37, and I've said that many times on camera. I have no problem saying my age and like, oh, damn. Like, a lot of the guys that I talk to, they're like their mid-20s or whatever, early 20s. But for me, like, I bring a different aspect when it comes to it because one thing I would say is know your audience. Like, know who you're going to attract. You know, obviously, you're not going to attract a bunch of the younger people, but I've seen people that are older be successful and even pick this up at an older age and be successful because there is an audience for every type of streamer. It might not be the biggest audience. It might not be the most money audience, but there is an audience for everybody out there. You know what I mean? So finding out what you bring and what people would want to watch is one thing you'd have to kind of figure out on your own, for sure. Crazy. Well, man, I don't want to take any more time of your time. I mean, we had a great discussion, man, and I appreciate you taking the time. And I know you normally stream around this time. Let everybody know where they could find you, like all your different handles and shit like that, man. What are your times? What time zone are you in?
Okay, before I do, Samson Reagan in your chat asked if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be? Not punishing. I said that wrong, but like disciplining your kids these days is
I know
something that I wish never changed. Yeah, you know, God forbid you give them a good spanking. Like you know, I get it. Back in the day when I used to get beat the hell up from my mom, it's shaped me into the man I am today. Yep. But like it has. I just wish that's something that changes in this world personally. And then I'm central. I'm born and raised El Paso, Texas, and so I live now in the Midwest, so it's Central Time. Thank God I'm only an hour ahead of you guys. So you can find me on Twitch. I also post TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. YouTube kind of died down on me right there. Waiting on that, but you know we'll get back to that eventually. But yeah, you can find me on every social media platform. I'm pretty much. Just watch. Just all I gotta say is go watch the TikTok. You know, Jimmy has a lot of good videos. Mine are more just idiotic. He beats me in the quality and quantity aspect. Mine are just like bangers in the sense of the
but they're good.
Shit that
no,
I
but
do.
they're awesome.
The stupid shit I do.
They're well put together by the ideas of you and your video person. So I mean, I totally get it. Let me answer one more thing. Somebody asked me, the taint. Would I lick a taint for $2 million? Yeah, a woman's taint for $2 million, of course.
No. We didn't say what.
Hey,
didn't say
it just
gender.
said you lick a
taint. You're right.
A taint. You didn't specify. A woman's taint for $2 million?
Right. You guys messed that up. Yeah, you didn't. You did not put that on there. He's
old
right.
man hairy taint. Maybe.
Bro, I told them all day, 2 million all day. I'm doing that like a harmonica. Bring it here, bro. 2 mil. Oh my God, you guys are nasty.
That's funny. All right, man. Well, I don't want to take any more time. Hey, appreciate everybody coming in here. If you guys are coming in for Orwiggle's community, I appreciate y'all. I've been doing these podcasts more often. If you guys want to catch me, I'm on Tuesday and Thursdays. I'm a part-time streamer. I multi-stream on Facebook and Twitch. Twitch is kind of like the backup, but Facebook is my main grind. So if you guys are over there, you want to follow me on Twitch, I appreciate it. Don't feel obligated, but thank you guys for coming through. And Brian, thanks for sitting down with me. And this won't be the last time we sit down. I think this was a perfect opportunity I want to introduce a lot of the people that I truly, genuinely respect and look up to, and feel that like I could fuck with them and get some good feedback and some constructive criticism from as well, because we said it earlier. Once you start leveling up in this game, you're looking to your left and your right. You want to make sure that you're surrounded with the right type of people. And like I said, we might not be in each other's streams all the time. We not be playing each other all the time, but we see each other and we're supporting each other from afar. And that's all I really care about nowadays, is that genuine support from somebody.
You guys better follow Jimmy, goddammit, you weirdos. Asking him if he lift taints. That's you guys can do. I better start seeing them rolling in, because that has a... Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys all do. You're right. But anybody that doesn't, follow him. We have done a couple coach streams together. I know he's a very busy man, so maybe in the future we'll play some funny shit or something else.
Yeah, man, for sure.
There's always time in the world, big dog. You let me know, but I appreciate it, man. I had a good time, and it's always good. This, I think, my second podcast I've been a part of, and it never gets old, man.
It's fun.
It's just fun.
I think it's fun because a lot of people get to see us just talk and bullshit that's not related just to the game that we're playing or the people that we're playing with. So I think it's cool because people get to know us, and I think a lot of people want to get to know us, and a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. To a certain extent, I let people know what's going on in my life, and not maybe detailed stuff, but they know me, and I have no problems, talking about certain things in my life, but obviously not specific things or personal things, but people get a genuine sense of who I am. And I think it's a perfect opportunity for you as well, because I want people to know, like, hey, this is the guy who got me here. If it wasn't this fucker, like, bringing shit up, you guys would have never seen Jimmy Dukes Gaming. So I appreciate you, brother, man. Thanks for your time.
No, I appreciate it, man. No, one more shout out again. I want to thank everyone who's kind of tied in. I know Jimmy's brought people to my community that joined and knew me, and vice versa. Just know that Jimmy is pretty much identical to me in the sense of personality wise. Again, he has more hair, but I'm taller, so I beat him on that aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as I beat Jimmy at something, that's okay. He's got the locks, but I got the stature. So.
Same size. We got the same size. We got the same size inch dick too.
Yeah, hey, you know what? The 2 millimeter
but it works,
defeater, baby.
But it works.
2 millimeter defeater. It don't matter.
But it works.
Punisher, it does.
2-inch Punisher. All right, man.
Right,
you guys make sure you guys go check Orwiggle out Monday through Friday Central Time. He's playing a little bit of everything, man. Follow him on Facebook. Yeah, follow him on Facebook. He actually will post there, but go follow him on Twitch, man. Great guy, man. Thank you so much for your time, brother. And everybody else, we'll catch you guys around. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your night.